Welcome back to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform where we have conversations with and about children and young people in Africa. If you are new here, thank you so much for being part of the Cynthia Untamed community, and please do tell a friend to tell a friend. I had promised to talk about this topic a few weeks ago, so here we go. One of the things that a lot of students struggle with at the Kenya School of Law is imposter syndrome. Now, this is something I never thought that somebody could struggle with until I started battling with it myself. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, why is this the case? So imposter syndrome is basically the feeling that you do not belong, even if in the real case you actually belong to that place, you deserve to be there. So I've had conversations with a few past students before, and they've said, oh, I actually had the feeling of imposter syndrome, like I didn't belong here. And I don't know whether this is just a problem with bright students, because I remember when I was in high school, I also struggled with imposter syndrome a bit, but I ignored it. By then I didn't even have a terminology for it. Until one day I went back to my former high school and we were having a career day with the current students at the time. And one of the older girls, well, she's not old, like someone who had who had cleared from the school nearly 20 years before me, asked the current students, who has ever struggled with imposter syndrome while they are here? And I'm telling you, the entire hall stood up. These are the brightest of students in this country, and I think only 1% remained seated, but like 99% of the entire school felt that they had struggled with imposter syndrome. And I realized that a lot of students now carry this forward even to the university level, and specifically for this video, to the Kenya School of Law. Well, the first thing you need to realize is that you belong here. You belong to this institution. There's a reason why you are in that place. You know, some people struggle with it mostly because they've gotten to the school and then now they meet university students, law students from all over the country. And to be honest, there's also that kind of tug of war. I came from the university of, I came from this university, I came from that university. And there's always that feeling that some people had better chances because of the universities they went to. They feel that some lecturers were better than theirs. But here's the thing. The Council of Legal Education does not really care which university you went to, as long as this institution was accredited. So as long as you have your degree, you went through the application system, your documents were verified, and you were given that admission letter, then you belong to this institution. And nobody should have the right to make you feel like you do not belong just because you came from a university that may not be well known or not as well resourced or not as prestigious as another institution. The fact that you are in that school at this particular moment means that you deserve to be there. You got the grades you needed to get while you were in high school. You got the required grades you needed to get at the university, and that is why you are here today. Probably one of the other reasons that a lot of students at Kenya School of Law struggle with imposter syndrome is the fact that you meet people who are more confident, people who are, let me just say, they're just more talkative than you. So every time they ask a question in class, their hands are up. One of the things I struggled with and that led to my imposter syndrome was because at the university I had not studied civil litigation, I had not done civil procedure, nor had I done criminal procedure, although I had done a bit of criminal law. And this was the same case for all the students that I went to school with, because our university did not offer civil procedure or civil litigation. So you get to Kenya School of Law and there are people who studied civil procedure, civil litigation at the university level. So anytime they ask a question, these people just know the answer. And then now there is you who has never even heard of the word plaint, especially if you've never worked in a law firm. you've never heard of the word plaint, you've never heard of the word, you've never even heard of the civil procedure rules or anything like that. So you're not really very familiar. I remember for me, I really struggled because the first time we were doing the drafting, and the lecturer would say, today we're going to draft a plaint. While some people already knew what a plaint was, I was busy Googling, what is a plaint? You can imagine I was starting from that point. And that really made me struggle because there are people whose hands were always up. Although we're doing it on Teams, there are people whose hands were always up. Every single minute their hands are up, they have the right answers. So how do you deal with this? The first thing you need to do is really to gain confidence and know that just because you do not study civil procedure or civil litigation at university does not mean that you're not going to thrive in this unit at the Kenya School of Law. It does not mean that you will struggle entirely. You just need to change your perspective and gain confidence. So how I started gaining confidence was, and I have mentioned how important this is, I started reading the civil procedure rules, and I started reading it like a child because I had no idea. I had not been immersed in the field of civil litigation. So I took the civil procedure rules and the Civil Procedure Act and I started reading from the top. You know that part that says subsidiary laws, the laws of Kenya, that first page there, I started from there, and then I went and then I started looking at the order 1, rule 1, order 1, rule 2, like that, up to the very end. And how I used to time it was I used to look at the course outline, and I have explained before how you can use the course outline to study. I look at the course outline, I know that I have civil litigation next week on Friday, so I look at the specific rules that would be discussed in that particular lesson, and that you will be guided by the course outline. Because if the course outline is saying that you're going to be talking about a plaint, then you just look at the civil procedure rules and you check where the act mentions the references to the plaint. That's how I would do it. So even by the time I got to class, it gave me more confidence that the fact that the lecturer was mentioning some things, some people were loading faster than I was, at least I had some clue of what was going on. So that will really help you to gain confidence. The other thing I wish I had done better was speak up more in class, but hey, I was really struggling with imposter syndrome. But I think it helps if you speak up more in class, because one of the things I realized is, because I was reading before the class, at least I was touching a bit of topics here and there before the class, the lecturer would ask a question and I'd be so afraid of saying the answer. Like you could hear a pin drop in that Microsoft Team class. The lecturer has asked a question, nobody is responding, but I know the answer, but I'm really scared of saying it because I have imposter syndrome. So I feel that maybe I'll say the wrong answer. And then somebody from nowhere would just say the answer, and the lecturer will be like, yeah, that's close to what I was thinking. That's close to what we're going to discuss today. And then I'm like, but Cynthia, you knew what it was. Why didn't you speak up? So I'm really encouraging you to speak up. It really helps you to gain confidence as you move, and it will really help you to get rid of the imposter syndrome that you're battling with. I mentioned that it's very important to not be intimidated by people you feel are smarter than you. You will come across people who will make you feel like, what kind of an answer was that? Well, at least in my time, it was not as bad because we were all on teams. So basically, there's less human interaction. But if you have a physical class right now, you might struggle with that. So don't allow anyone to intimidate you. And that's why it's very important for you to attend class. Because when you attend class, you're also in the know. You're not now coming and suddenly asking people what happened, what's going on, and then maybe they might respond in a way that you do not like, and then now you start struggling with imposter syndrome again. But then now, more importantly, it's also important to now keep reviewing what you have studied so that it sticks in your brain. So if you studied a particular topic that week, if you're talking about something in criminal procedure, go back to it and study it again so that it sticks in your brain. And I have really explained how you can study the entire year so that you also remember things in another video. So make sure you check out that video. I will leave the link at the bottom of this the description of this video. But that is really going to also help you now to battle with imposter syndrome, because one of the other reasons that people battle with imposter syndrome is that they're actually imposters. If you don't know, you don't know, but at least if you know, you can actually battle against the lack of self-confidence. Lastly, one of the most important ways I learned how to battle with imposter syndrome at Kenya School of Law was being open to listening to others. I know I have said you are smart, you are intelligent, you deserve to be here, all those nice things you want to listen and you want to tell yourself, but also be open to listening to others. The fact that you are all there and you're all qualified, there's always going to be somebody who's smarter than you, more brilliant than you, who understands things faster than you. They'll probably not even have to review the class after. Maybe once the lecturer has taught, it just sticks in their mind. So be open to listening to others and learning from other students. So for example, when you're doing the farm work or the group discussions, if you pick out that person X, Y, and Z has a better understanding of conveyancing or probate and administration, take advantage of their knowledge. Take advantage of the fact that they understand this topic better than you. Ask them questions. Listen to them. It really does help. When it comes to the Kenya School of Law, please set aside your pride. I know you are the best in your school, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you are the best. You are in the dean's list. Nobody cares about that at this point. So be open to listening to other people. Be open to learning from others. Ask questions. For me, I remember, if I didn't know something, I just used to say, to be honest, I do not know. Do not feel like you're this person who knows everything. It's okay to know a lot. But if you don't know, just say you don't know, so that even other people are open to giving you the answers that you need. And those answers that you get are the answers that are going to help you to actually excel in the bar exam. And that is it for our video today. I really felt that it's just important to have that conversation about imposter syndrome at Kenya School of Law, because I am an education champion and I've really come across bright students like me who really struggle with imposter syndrome the entire school year, the entire academic period. They just struggle with that. So for me, I think it was really a learning lesson and I thought I should share that with you. But if you've gone through Kenya School of Law and you've battled with imposter syndrome, how did you deal with that? How did you manage to work around those emotions and actually eventually succeed? Thank you for being part of Cynthia Untamed today. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Please remember to follow me on Instagram at CynthiaOprah_Nyongesa, on Twitter at Cynthia_Oprah, on LinkedIn Cynthia Nyongesa, and please do check out my digital platform CynthiaUntamed.com. I will see you in the next episode.